What's up, y'all? I say y'all because my dad's from Florida. And, man, he used to tell me so many funny little phrases. He'd always call me boy. He'd say he was poor as a church mouse. I'm gonna read a poem right now. This is my poetry series that I'm starting right now. And this poem, this is a poem, I'm going to be doing these poetry readings, and I'm going to try to talk. Try to get a better angle. Yeah, I think that's a little better. I'm doing these little kind of spontaneous poetry readings, kind of talking about talking about my writing, my poetry. Yeah, me, I know. But poetry is healing. Writing is healing. So I want to encourage people to write, to get these feelings out, And I think that, hopefully, eventually we could have like poetry circles where we can just get all these feelings out. But anyway, let me go into this poem real fast. This is a poem I wrote, and it doesn't really have a title on it, so I'm just going to jump right in. I turned my attention to the right. She turned her attention to the left. We met eyes. Across cars at the light. Many colors of the world flowed through her light skin. She had freckles and sparkles in her eyes. We met eyes and we held each other briefly. I saw something I almost never see in LA girls. A kindness and empathy. She stared into me fearlessly, stared into my black male face, unafraid to vibrate with me. Oh, the bay. I can breathe out here. So yeah, so that one, that's just, that poem, that's just kind of a moment that happened when I was driving in the bay. I wasn't driving, I was in the passenger seat. And the woman that I'm writing about she was driving, so we were looking across each other. And it was just an interesting moment. The line that I always was really hesitant about putting in was the LA girls part, because I didn't want to, I guess maybe insult would be the wrong word, but I didn't want to make, put, 50% of the human race in LA, in a box. But, it's something that you really feel. I mean, I've never really seen really a deep, look at or discussion about racism in LA, because there's this own particular type of racism in the city, and I'm not saying that in an accusatory way. It's more of a fear-based thing. LA is a very fear-based city. It's very much a city based on fear, scarcity, and money. Those are obviously, money is, everything is driven by money, but I think LA in particular is really about the haves and the have-nots, and the super haves and the mega haves, and everyone being conscious of how they look, I've been going to the gym recently a lot, and the way people like kind of sculpt their bodies, the way that women wear their these crazily these shapewear, like this intensity, the men just kind of all oiled up, and just like this is anxiety, constant anxiety about how people look, are people good enough, do they look muscular enough, do they look high class enough, do they have a nice enough car. There's this constant anxiety everywhere. So I think that's kind of maybe perhaps that's the root of where the kindness lacks. Maybe that's where there's to be empathetic and truly kind to people, you need to look past that fear, and you need to really connect with the person. And when you're just completely consumed by your own fear and your own anxiety about your present, you're never really going to be free, I think, as a human being. So I would say that's maybe part of it. I don't know if that's, so it's, but then there's the racism element. Blackness is economically seen as lower. Let's just be straight up. It's the ultimate not enough. You're the ultimate not enough. So as a black person, people are going to look at you with a certain level of of anxiety, reflecting that general lack of feeling. So yeah. So and again, this is not obviously everybody. There's a lot of really kind, empathetic people. This woman that I'm talking about, this is in Oakland. She was a light skin. I couldn't tell what her race was, her ethnicity was, but she was just beautiful, man. She was, and the way she looked at me, kind of like the feeling for me as a man, as men in the world, we're kind of viewed with a certain level of fear, which is understandable by women, and I think particularly in black men, there's amount of tension. So I think when a woman looks at you and there's this deep sense of empathy, it's very unusual. When she looks at you and she doesn't just look away, or she does not attention, she just looks at you. I posted this online and I didn't get that much response. I think particularly because I think maybe people, there's people are, with writing, when you post things online, I think people are going to, hesitate, I think, to really respond if it's not a very easily digestible work of art, but that doesn't really, deter me usually from just putting it out there, because I know people are feeling it. People have connected. People have reached out, after many months after I put something out and said, hey, I learned something from what you wrote. So yeah. So the Bay Area is, the Bay Area is a very special place, and I think, whenever I venture outside of this LA city, but this isn't I hate LA's video, or I'm not, this in the poem, it's just how my observations and what, and perhaps what can change. But yeah, this is my first poetry video, so hopefully it was interesting to you. And yeah, let's just keep sharing. Let's just keep growing. Let's just be real. I hate how inauthentic the internet can be. But yeah, let's keep this going.